we're going to go ahead and get started, guys.
Absolutely. So congratulations for being here right now, because this information has dramatically changed both of our lives and it's transformed many others. And so for you guys taking the time out of your busy day to sit here and watch this, either if you're here live or if you're watching the recording, I really want to let you know that this information is extremely powerful if you're going to take it and apply it. So if you do have any other distractions going on, if you happen to come over here and say, yeah, this sounds cool, or I'll watch this recording for a little while, really take the time to get all of your distractions, whether it's your phone, if you've got Facebook or Skype. You really want to put that away right now, because the information, like I said, from here really is what makes the difference. And I really want to make sure that you guys are aware of how important it actually is to have your full attention here. Because today you're going to discover the 11-step process to realistically build a six-figure online business in the next 17 weeks. Sounds like a lot of information right there, but it's an absolute tried and true method. And I want to make sure you stick with us till the end, because it's absolutely going to be worth it. We're combining almost 15 years of insights into this one webinar, so we are going to go fast. So it's a good idea that you take some notes, but don't really worry about trying to write every little thing down, because at the end of the presentation, I'm going to share with you how you can get this replay and download all of the slides. But as we're going through, you're going to get some great nuggets of little things that are important to you right now. And those are the things that you really want to make sure you have, paper and pencil to actually write them down with. Because we're not going to go into any fluffy, puffy BS. Justin and I are going to be very real with you right now. And in all honesty, I think that's exactly what you want. So the comment that I want to just let you guys know is it really is possible. We're going to share with you in the next 90 minutes, and this is our third time. We're definitely going to stick to that 90-minute time frame right there, but exactly how to build the minimum $100,000 a year per business in the next 17 weeks. And this template, it's tried, it's true. If you follow it, you're basically going to be able to plug and play, build and grow your own profitable online business, because we're giving you exactly the steps that you need to take so that at the end of this webinar, you are actually going to be closer to your dream. And so we really just want to ask this question, is that why you're here right now? You took the time out of your day to come sit here, and like we mentioned, we've already done this a couple of times, and this is the third one. And every single time we've had people come on and say, yes, this is exactly why I'm here. And so I'm going to just assume that you guys are no different. If you're here right now, this is what you want to learn. And so what we want to do is we want to just really get into it, because now is really the time. We're at the end of 2014. This is the time, excuse me, this is the time of year where people maybe usually start slowing down a little bit, but that's not what you want to do. You really want to ramp things up so that, you can either quit your job, or you can just be in the situation where you can finally change things around and spend more time with your family, or go on vacation, or really just have that time freedom that you want, so that you're not stuck in your day-to-day rut of going to the job that you don't want to do, or having no time to spend with your family. There is possibilities out there to change, and that's what we want to share with you today. So before we get into the specifics, obviously we want to let you know who we are. So again, my name is Brenda Gagne, and we have Justin Glover here, and we're the founders of Results 513 and the Ignition Mastermind. And we met about 2 years ago in San Diego. We were at the top 25 internet marketers from a high-end weekend mastermind. And this is actually an exact picture of where we were. We were sitting right there at a patio table, and we had a great conversation the first time we met. And it was kind of a conversation that really just set off the fact of where we are right now. Because most of the people behind the scenes that are making lots of money out there, they're really just caring about how much more money can we make? What's the easiest, the fastest way to really make money? And the conversation that Justin and I were having, it wasn't about that. It was really all about the people that we are, selling our products to, and how can we really get these people to actually have more success. And the fact that most people don't talk that way, it kind of just brought us together a little bit more. And throughout the rest of the couple months, we ended up working together and building a business. So just a little bit about myself real quick. My name is Brenda Gagne. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I got into this internet marketing arena about 5 or so years ago. And it's because of these three little girls right here. And I got started, they were 2, 3, and 5 years old. And the reality was I was just in that exact situation where, I really can relate to a lot of you. I used to be an elementary teacher, and I stopped teaching so that I could stay home with the girls. And my husband worked for the state, so there wasn't any, bonuses or any raises that were going to be coming around soon. And it was this situation where, it was paycheck to paycheck, and there was never any money left over. I never had anything extra to really say yes to the girls if they wanted something. And I just kind of took a step back one day. I remember we were sitting out on our porch, and they were all playing with their little toys, and I thought, this is it. Nothing is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is that I'm going to have to go back to work and put these 3 kids in daycare, which really didn't make any sense. And so I was just, this was not going to be my life. So I got onto the internet, and I had a few people that introduced me to the possibilities. And once I saw there was possibilities, I never looked back. And it was something that I'm so thankful to this day that I was introduced to this, because I went ahead and I just took action on every single thing that I learned, and I created a few books, I created a few training courses, I became the top earner in one of my companies. And because I used to be, as a gymnastics coach for so many years, I was an elementary teacher. Once I really started having success, it was great for me. But on the flip side, there were so many people that weren't. And I was, as people started reaching out to me, and I turned around and started helping them and coaching them. And really, that's where my passion is. It's in the last year and a half, it's really turned around, and went ahead and stopped what we were doing and turned things around to start coaching and helping other people. So that's exactly, what we're doing right now. So Justin, I've been talking for a little while. Let me turn it over to you for a little bit.
Yeah, so those of you that that may not know who I am, my name is Justin Glover. I live in Central Arkansas. And whenever I first got started in this industry, I actually had 3 jobs. I was working roughly 100 hours per week. And my original goal was to just to make enough money on the internet to work a quote-unquote 40-hour work week. Because that's what I wanted. I was just tired of working 3 jobs. I would get up in the morning. My day would start around between 4 and 5 a.m. and I would go to a bus factory where I installed air conditioning units in the big yellow school buses. And we were one of the only companies in the entire world that actually did that. So if you've ever been in a school bus that had air conditioning in it, I know they didn't have them in there whenever I was in school, but chances are they came through our factory, and I possibly installed it. So at the end of the day, around 5 o'clock, I would go into the bathroom at work and change clothes, drive about 2 or 3 minutes up the road, and I was a bartender at Outback Steakhouse. And then on the nights that I wasn't working and in the weekends, I was doing landscaping. I was mowing people's yards, installing flower beds, that sort of thing. So I was a very busy guy. I didn't have a lot of time. Out of every 24-hour period, I had roughly 5 to 6 hours to do my eating, my sleeping, my business building, socializing, everything. So I got very good at being efficient. I started just consuming knowledge. I created a company called Digital Info Mastery in 2008 and started doing some affiliate marketing. Once I started getting some success doing affiliate marketing, I started creating my own products. I started hosting live events, doing masterminds, doing personal mentoring for people, and I really just sort of took off. We've drastically changed from when I first began. Me and my family get to go hang out and do some really cool things. I just had a little baby girl, so that's a lot of fun. One thing that I want to show you here, and if you know me, you know that I'm not a person. You probably never see me actually put out an income claim or anything like that, or take screenshots of how much money I've made. Just because that's not what matters to me. That's not really what I'm all about. But I show you this, number one, for those that don't know, to let you know, okay, I am absolutely serious. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Brenna knows what she's talking about. This is a screenshot from my old company. This is the 2013 sales report for that, and you can see the months, month by month, over to the left-hand side. And the reason I show you this is because I want you to actually pay attention to the months and the amounts, because you'll notice that month 10, 11, and 12 that we are in right now, so October, November, December, those are by far the biggest months. And then they were the biggest months in 2012 as well, leading into 2013, which I did a product launch in 2013. So January was an exceptional month this year. But those last 3 months, when everybody is sort of dying off and giving up, these are the months when things can really happen. So you're at the right time right now. These next 3 months, next 4 months are some of the best times that you can actually go in and to promote your business and build your business and actually get some results. So while everybody else is sort of, writing this year as a loss off and saying, okay, well, maybe next year, we really want you to start focusing on the next 3 months and really get the most out of it. So,
Yep. So now, like we said, we've gone ahead and created Results 513 and Ignition. And what we've been able to do in the last year with these companies is really impact some lives, a lot of lives. And we've changed our structure around, and these are our founding members, some little screenshots here of the different things that we've done with them and helped them. But what we're doing right now is allowing us to find a system of what really, really works, because you can go out there and you can teach and you can train, but it's really talking with the people and working with them one-on-one and in small group settings to really figure out where their struggle is, what the commonality is, and how do you actually break it down to teach it. And the really cool part is that's exactly what we've done, and we've been able to personalize it to each individual for their strengths. And what this does is it finally gives you the reality of, okay, I can create this lifestyle leverage that I want, where I don't have to go out there and get another job. I don't have to sell things, because it's not just about the money. It's also about the freedom, because it's the freedom to have control over your future. And the reality is that is what people really want. We really want to have control over ourselves and the decisions that we have. So we want to lay the foundation for you just right now so that we have the right expectations here. I really want you to understand that there's no magic pill to any of this. The real results come from hard work, specific strategies, and proper implementation. If you're looking for that turnkey, that done-for-you system, stuff that you'll really see out there right now, you have to understand that you're not a business builder, you're an opportunity seeker, and there really is a difference between that. There's a big difference between trying to make, the next $100 and it doesn't matter how you get it, and creating a long-term business. And we're looking for the people that want to do that long-term business, but I really want you to understand that it's a simple process, but it's also one that's very easy to complicate. So if you feel like it's a complicated process, there's a really good reason for that. And so what we're going to do is flip that for you and show you the process and break it down into steps so that you can get that execution plan that you want and be able to get to the results that you want. And the one thing I want to share with you right now is, we've showed you a little bit about who we are, but anybody can tell you who they are in their own words, and it really changes things when you hear it from somebody else. And so real quickly, we've got Greg Gomez here. He's just going to say a few words, and I want you to listen to what he has to say about what it is that we're doing and why it's working.
Justin and his group, it's a renaissance of that style of work, results-based marketing, results-based focus, Results 513, right? It's a good name. With the right expectation coming into it. It's not, hey, come to my deal, we're going to show you how to make a bunch of money. It's, yeah, we can do that, but you got to be willing to do a massive amount of work. And as long as you're willing to do that, the sky's the limit. And they're one of the few organizations that really show people how to do that. And that's, I have not enough words to say how much I respect that, because it's not enough in this space.
So let's get to it. If we're talking about all these things, what are these 11 steps? Let's help you get started right now. So, question is, are you ready? Is your focus here? If you've gone anywhere else, if you've got anything open, really pull back in, focus right now, because we're going to go over these right now. So the first thing that we want to do is zoom out on this buying process. We kind of shared with you that we usually like to break things down. It's very easy to break things down once you understand how they fit together. So real quickly, I'm going to go over these 11 steps, and then just know that we're going to go ahead and break them down a little bit more for you. So the first one is to, number one looks really big, have an offer to sell. Number two, I'm laughing because these slides were just imported into new computers, so we've got some big numbers right here. So number two is know your target market. Number three is then promote your offer to this market. Number four is get them on your list. Number five, get them to read your emails. Number six, get them to click on your link. Number seven is get them to watch or read all of your presentation. Number eight is get them to click on your order form. Number nine, get them to complete the buying transaction. Number 10, build the customer relationship, which brings us to 11, which is get them to buy again. Now, just taking a second to look at these right now, it's like, well, they seem very common sense. Nothing in there is anything that was any type of secret ninja, and that you wouldn't have known. Yes, that's all very common sense, but the problem is it's the how do you do all of those steps, and when do you do those steps, and what do you do if you get stuck? It's the tech setup that holds people back of how to create the stuff that actually works. It's the marketing strategies of how do you get people to actually take these steps when you want them to. And a huge one is time management. How do you actually set all this stuff up in your daily life, especially if you have a full-time job, if you are spending time with your family all day, if you only have a few hours, even in the week, how do you fit the time to build your business into those little hours that you do happen to have? And then once you get all this stuff, how do you make it stick? These are important questions, and these are the questions that are really holding people back. And a perfect example of this is right here. This is James Spanky, and this is a screenshot from a Facebook conversation that I had with him almost a year ago. And, James had been in this industry for many, many years, and this was one of the relatively first times that we had been chatting with each other. And I highlighted right there, it says, I've had a lot of people talk to me about marketing and tell me I should teach it. And inside I'm thinking to myself, if you only knew that I stopped dead in my tracks when I hit the techie stuff. And he goes on to say, I need someone to hold my hand to get to the point where I'm set up to do what I want to do, and that is the training that I've never gotten. And so, James and I had a little conversation, and James went ahead and joined working with us, and we've been able to help him. And once he got into Ignition, this is what he had to say.
It's provided clarity to things that, maybe I've been trying to do for quite a while. And then you get clarity and you see what the steps and how they make sense. And then you get results. So then I have, a 4,800 plus day, and I'm like, this works. It works, and I got it. And once you do it, that's the whole thing. If you can get somebody to get results, I got results. It's a no-brainer that you can do it again and again and again. And ultimately, that's what people want. That's what I want.
And that's what he wanted right there. And so I'm very proud of James for actually going through the process, and we worked with him and we helped him break it down. And then just like he said, this stuff actually works. So why was he finally having success after so many years of struggling? A lot of people are asking that. And the reality is it's our training method. And it's because we take all of these things that everybody knows, but we break them down so much into little concepts that are very easy for you to understand, and then we give you action tasks to be able to achieve the results that you want. And being able to go back and break things down, honestly, it goes a lot into my background, because of when I was coaching gymnastics, that's exactly what you did. You would break down each skill into the tiny, fine moment and the movement that you would do stuff. Going back into teaching, everybody learned this way when you went through your education. This is the way that all of the information has been broken down for you. And the reality is that's why this is working so well. So that's what we want to do with you right now. If you remember these 11 steps right here, we're going to go ahead and break them down for you so that you can see exactly kind of where you are and get a good gauge of where you want to be. All right, so the only other thing I did want to say is that realistically, as I break down these things for you right now, each one of these is actually going to require hours and hours of in-depth, talking about, and we have a lot of training on them. So even though we're going to break them down for you right now, obviously we really can't go into as much depth as we would like to. So that first step, if you remember, is have an offer to sell. Now, you got to be passionate about whatever it is that you're selling, or you're never going to succeed. And basically, any type of offer is anything that you're going to be promoting on the internet, whether you are in an MLM company, network marketing company, whether you're doing direct sales, whether you're selling something retail, whether you're doing a service-based product, or if it's just an affiliate marketing, whatever it is, it's a product that you're actually selling. You got to make sure that you're passionate about it, because if you don't fully, wholeheartedly believe that the people are going to get the results that they want from your product, it's just never going to work. And the other thing I want you to think about that offer that you come in is that a lot of people get brought into this industry of internet marketing and being an entrepreneur with a specific product or service. Someone introduced you to something, And the reality is that you don't have to stick with that if it's not something that you are really, really behind. And a lot of people in different conversations, they feel bad about jumping to another one, or maybe they have jumped around so many times they don't want to change. But the thing is you got into this industry because of the hope of what could happen from the future. Whatever the product or service is, that's just the vehicle to get you there. So we really want to make sure we help you develop talents and show you, how to take whatever you're passionate about and make a business out of it. But understanding at the same time that you need to have a system put in place that will still bring you in commissions while you're learning and creating these things for the long-term business. Oh, okay, we just lost some stuff here. I was like, there's another thing right there, but maybe it didn't just pop up. All right, well, it got lost. But the other thing is you just got to make sure that you do the work. You got to do the work so that it's working for you. There's right ways, there's wrong ways to do something. And a lot of times people will just jump in and do things the wrong way, and you got to make sure that you're doing it the right way to be able to earn that income. So that brings us to step 2, which is know your target market. And this one right here is a big one. This is a step that is skipped way, way too often. And honestly, it's because there's not a lot of training out there about it. And the insights coming from our members about learning how to figure out who your target market is, your perfect customer, this has been huge for their success. Because if you miss this one step, it throws off all of your marketing and you're not going to get the results that you want. But here's the big thing, you're not going to know why. Figuring out who your perfect customer really is, this is going to double your results with the same effort. Okay, so think about that. That's a big statement, but how many of you would like to double your results with the same effort? It's absolutely possible when you figure out your target market. And we teach this a lot in depth inside 513. We go into it a lot more in Ignition. And it's probably one of the biggest steps that if this just skipped a lot. And we want to make sure that you really understand how big that is. All right, so that's going to bring us to step 3. So once you figure this out, Justin, you want to go ahead and take this?
Yeah. So, all right. So to recap, the first step is to have something to sell. Second step is to know your target market. So if you refer back to the blog post that I made, part 1 and part 2, before this particular training, in part 2, I broke down and I said, okay, so whenever you're first getting started, you need to think about this in terms of what exactly do I need? And if you want to build a successful business, you need 3 things. You need something to sell, someone to buy it, and a system to connect the two. Now, there's those first 2 things, something to sell and someone to buy it, are sort of step 1 and step 2. Now, steps 3 through 11 are going to all encompass and make up the third part of that, which is a system to connect the two. So we're going to start the system by talking about traffic. And once you know your market and you have something to sell, then it's time to start driving traffic to it. And to do that, you figure out where your target market is hanging out and what exactly they're talking about. Now, there's 2 ways to pay for traffic. You can either pay with time or you can pay with money. That's it. When it comes to it, and that will just really depend on how much money you have for advertising, how much time you have to create content and get the word out. So you can do the regular paid ads, but also think outside the box, especially if you've got the extra time, because a lot of people, you can actually get quick traffic and quality traffic by simply having the right conversations with the right people. So you don't need any special ad skills or technical skills to do this. You can go to Twitter, like if you go to search.twitter.com or go to Facebook, then you can search common phrases that your avatar is using and then join in on those conversations. Now, if you don't know your avatar, then you won't be able to do this. That's why step 2 is so important. But one thing to remember when you're having these conversations, be sure and speak their language. Demonstrate that you care. Show that you actually give a crap about them. And once you find that they have a problem and that your solution matches up with that problem and can actually solve it, then you can recommend that solution. And it's just a natural part of it. It's the next progression of that conversation. So that's one key thing to remember when you're driving traffic. And again, traffic is sort of this this massive box we could open up and talk about literally for months on end. So it's an ongoing thing that we want to learn. So we're just going to touch on it here on this one slide and then move on to step 4. After you send traffic, then the next part in the buying process is your objective is to get them onto your list. Now, what you actually need to do this is there's a little bit of tech setup involved. You need a capture page. something that brands you, that puts people onto your list so that you have permission to follow up with them. And the other technical component is you're going to need some sort of an autoresponder service. Now, if you have a capture page, if you don't have a capture page, then consider this when you're setting it up, because there's certain things that you want to make sure that your capture page actually has. And then if you already have one, you can use this to go back and look at your capture page and make sure that it's including these elements. So the first thing is we need what's called a lead magnet. Obviously, that comes in many different forms. It could be a report, a video, whatever you're offering in exchange for that person's email address. It's essentially just an offer that interests your audience and piques their curiosity enough to bring them back into their real situation that they're trying to escape from. All right, you need to have persuasive ad copy to entice them to put their email into your website without being hypey or salesy. So again, you have to understand your avatar. You have to understand who's visiting your page, and you have to do it in a way that doesn't come off salesy, but at the same time is strong enough and speaks to them directly enough to get them to actually put their email address. So you got to know know what their problems are, know how your solution solves them, and then offer them something in exchange. It's not the same as it used to be a few years ago when you literally had no reason to give anybody anything. You just say, hey, can I have your email address? And everybody gave it to you because we were excited when emails came in. Now, there's hundreds of emails in your inbox, and that's not really the case. So this step, once you get them on your list, that's sort of the next little thing there. So.
Yeah, and so steps 1 through 4, I just kind of want to bring your attention to. These are like the specific online marketing steps. This is the stuff where it takes the how-to technical side of things. You got to create those websites. You got to learn the aesthetics of what actually works on these pages, and then figure out the online traffic strategies and how you actually go and get leads. So without learning all of this how-to stuff, you're stuck, right? This how-to stuff, you have to do it. So that's why there's a lot of trainings out there and a lot of coaching spent time on these first 4 steps. But the reality is that's actually not enough. Without the rest of the online puzzle put in place, and that's basically steps 5 through 11, which we're going to get to, if you don't understand how to incorporate that, you're going to have inferior performance. And that's going to lead to self-doubt, low confidence, and frustration because you're not going to be getting the results that you want from your marketing, and you don't know why it's not working, and you don't know how to fix it. And so that's what's really important about learning how to do this stuff, because we want to help you take things a lot further. And we want to show you what it's like that you can go out there and reach your goals, because we actually really do care. We don't want to just get you to buy something so you buy something and buy something and buy something and you just have to continue to buy things without getting the results. We really do want to help you. And so, like I mentioned before, we have a few other people in this presentation that just kind of really take that point home. And this is Kimball, and he is an amazing 7-figure earner in our industry. And I just want to have you listen for a few seconds on what he has to say.
He's really trying to help people. That's one of the things in this industry, it's hard to know, man. It's hard to know if people are really trying to help you or just make some money. And I've seen him late at night just poring over not how can I make money, but how can I really impact people? How can I make this the most amazing experience for my people as possible? I select very carefully the people who I kind of set up on a pedestal and tell my members that they should go talk to, and he's one of them. He's one of the very few.
So that's really, really cool, and we appreciate him saying things like that. So that right there brings us to the next 3 steps, which is steps 5, 6, and 7. And so, Justin, do you want to take these back over?
Yeah. So, okay. So if you remember step 4, we've got them on your list. Now, what do you do when you have them on your list? So those of you that have people on your list and not really making money, these will be very relevant to you. This is sort of where you're plugged in at. So step number 5 is to get them to read your emails. Step 6 is to get them to click the link inside those emails. Step 7 is to get them to read or watch all of your presentation. Now, when I say presentation, that's obviously the sales presentation. So read the sales letter, watch the sales video, whatever that may be. And these steps deal with human psychology. So the first 4 steps were a little bit of just sort of like how-to, step-by-step technical stuff. All right, you just got to get the stuff up, get it working, get that lead generation machine up and running. And then for the rest of these steps, it has a lot to deal with human psychology, learning emotional triggers, how to incorporate them into ad copy, how to write good ads to get people's attention, how to incorporate them into your video scripts that will, all these things come together and will help you be more successful in this stage. And this is considered persuasion and advanced copywriting stuff, which are both lifelong skills. All right, so let's look at each one of these individual. Once you've got them on your list, step 5 is to get them to open and read your emails. So you might be thinking, well, how do you actually get them to open and read your emails? Well, their subject line is very important. If the subject line is not good and intriguing and gets somebody to open it, then nothing else happens in this buying process. All right, we're taking them to the next step. So the purpose of the subject line is simply to get them to open the email. But that's obvious, right? But there's other things that actually contribute to whether or not somebody opens your email, regardless of how good or bad your subject line is. And that is your relationship that you have with those people. All right, so you can do things like opening loops inside of additional emails, and that will cause people to open your next email. So opening loops, a simple way to do it, and we can go really deep into this, but a simple way to do it is simply asking questions. When you ask somebody a question in email and you say, I'll give you the answer later or another time, you just opened a loop that you did not close. Now, they're going to be a lot more likely to open up future emails because they want the answer to the question that you asked them in the last email. So that's one simple way and thing that you can start doing in your emails to really increase the amount of people that actually open your emails. And the biggest thing here throughout your emails, we're going to touch a little bit more on this in one of the next steps, is to really storytell. Tell stories and relate back to them. Let them understand that, I'm not just saying that I care. Like, tell stories of your personal life that demonstrate that you care. And as long as you can do that and you can be interesting and engaging and not boring, that's sort of the key, is just don't be boring, then people will continue to open up your emails and go through your process. So once you have that down, once they've opened the email, well, the next thing is to get them to click on the link. Right? That's how many of you got here to this webinar. That's how many of you got all the stuff that you've gotten from me. You've opened an email and clicked on a link. We're very familiar with this process. So the first thing is you've got to have a link in your email. That's kind of obvious. If to get them to go to a sales page, you need to have a link in the email to that sales page. Now, the other thing that's going to contribute whether or not they actually click on it is your ad copy and the stories that you tell inside of that email. And so they need to be compelling. They need to really just build up and make sure that that they all make sense, and gives them a good reason to click on the link. Now, one thing that you can do that's very easy that a lot of people really overlook is look at the email after you've written it. Before you hit send, look at the email from your prospect's point of view and read it. And then make sure that the next logical thing for them to do after reading the email is to click the link. That's how you want to structure your emails. Look at your emails objectively. Unplug from the little marketing mind that sort of writes the emails and say, okay, when I read this email as a prospect, is the next logical thing for me to do to click on the link? And if the answer is yes, then that's a good email. Send it out, and you're going to have more people clicking on your links. Now, once they click on the links, that's going to take them to what we call the money page, all right? A page where there's some sort of a presentation, whether it be a sales letter that's a long form written sales letter, or a video sales letter, or some sort of a sales message where we're going to ask them for money. Now, the first thing that they see when they get on this page is absolutely the most important. So let's go through here. All right, so the first thing that they see on this page is the most important. Headlines are in the opening statements in the videos. The purpose of those are just to get them to consume the rest of the presentation, to read the rest of the letter. So headlines are just sort of like subject lines. All right, the headline, the job of the headline is not to sell the product. It's just to get them to consume the rest of the sales letter or to watch the rest of the video. All right, because if they don't watch the whole video and they don't know that, and they don't see the offer, then there's no chance they'll continue on through this buying process. So that's one thing that you want to keep in mind. Now, steps 8 and 9. Let's go through here. Sorry, we imported some slides here. So Steps 8 and 9, once they've watched your presentation and they've seen the offer, then the next step in the buying process is they have to click on a link and complete that transaction. All right, so to get them to click through to the order form, the first thing to keep in mind, and this is very widely taught, is you got to have a strong call to action. All right, make the next logical thing for them to do after they watch the presentation is click on the link and order. All right, but one thing that you need to keep in mind that's not so widely taught, and if you're doing affiliate marketing, you want to look at the page that you're sending people to as an affiliate, and make sure that the video or the sales letter is actually incorporating these elements. And if not, you can either suggest that or put something in place that takes care of these elements. So, future telling in their own terms, helping them overcome their fear. That is when people go to the form, and the next when that you tell them, okay, here's the solution to your problem, click here to buy. Chances are, if they're meeting you for the first time, or they've never met you in person, or they're not a personal friend, chances are there's going to be a little bit of skepticism there. All right. So what you need to do is actually eliminate that fear, because they don't know what's going to happen after they click the button. So you simply just tell them, let them know, hey, when you click the add to cart button below, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be redirected to a page that looks like this. I'm going to send you an email. It's going to ask you to click on a link in that email. Once you do, then that's going to activate your account and you're going to get the product. Whatever your process is, or whatever's going to happen, just let them know, because that will increase the chances of them actually clicking. You just eliminated the fear that they had of the unknown, and once that fear has been eliminated, then they're more likely to click the link. What it also does is it contributes to step number 9, which is get them to complete the buying transaction. So once they've actually clicked that link, there's still a little bit of hesitation there, because they don't, they're sort of like deer at this point. All right. If there's anything, if you tell them, when you click the link, here's what you're going to see. You're going to go to a page with a yellow background, and they click the link and they see a page with a blue background. They kind of freak, because it's not what you said. They think that maybe it broke, because not everybody that actually clicks on the add to cart link pulls out their credit card and buys. So this is one of the most important pages of your entire marketing funnel. You need to really look at that page and make sure that you're not scaring people off with incongruent statements or anything like that. Now, one way that you can that will contribute to this is just build more value than the fear of, what if it does break? Well, even if the buying process is a little bit uncomfortable, it's worth it, because the value here is so high. That's sort of what you want them thinking. But obviously, if you can eliminate that and make the buying process as simple as possible, then that's going to be the best ultimate scenario. So build the relationship, show them that you care what happens to them, and then again, just make sure that you don't throw anything off, or put anything on the page once they click the add to cart button to throw anything off, because at that point, that's when people are pulling their credit cards out and they're giving you money, and they want to make sure that everything's going smoothly and like it's supposed to. And that's probably the worst time in a funnel that you can just, surprise them with something. So that's steps 8 and 9. Step 10 is to build the customer relationship. All right, so once somebody has actually purchased, the very next thing that you need to do is you've got to start building the customer relationship. Up until this point, you've been building a prospect relationship, which actually started before you got the email. And now you're building a customer relationship. So the way that you do this is you send them, obviously, a welcome email after the product is delivered. You communicate with them often and effectively. You go through the buying experience just as your customer would. So communicating with them is probably the most important thing, because if somebody just spent money with you, they want to know that it worked. All right, if they put their credit card details on into a form and click submit, they want to know that it didn't just go off and get sent to 1,000 people, and they have to go change their whole lifestyle now. They want to know that it worked, that they bought what they thought they were buying, and that you got it and it worked, and you're going to be sending them the product, or they want access to the product right then. So whatever your delivery process is, if it's something that takes 5 days to set up their membership site or whatever, that's fine, but just tell them. Don't make them wait 5 days before you send them and say, okay, thanks for buying 5 days ago. Send them an email right then. Let them know that we got it, it worked, we appreciate it, and we will be in touch. So one thing that you can do right now that's that will probably answer most of your questions. If you're looking at a funnel, go through it as your customer would. So go buy your own product and make sure that everything happens as you would like to see it happen. So make sure that the welcome emails are getting sent, that what you're saying in them is making sense, because that will obviously, it'll point out a lot of flaws that may be inside of your funnel. So once somebody is bought, the final step is to really get them to buy again and turn them into a long-term customer. And this is done, a lot of the stuff that we've done up through this step will contribute to that. If you've done that other stuff really well, then you don't really have to do a lot in this stage other than just make sure that everything gets delivered correctly, and they're going to be happy when you've given them what they want. So you want to always strive for a win-win situation. Make sure that your product is good. Make sure that whatever you're promoting or whatever you're selling is actually good. It's good advice, and it's solving their problem if they go and consume it. Which that's sort of the obvious answer, but the not so obvious answer to really increase this is the key is kind of hidden in that last statement. You want to make sure that your product will serve and solve their problem if they consume it. So if the answer is yes, then you need to actually, the sort of the not so obvious thing in here, which I'm not sure why it's not on the side, but you need to get them to actually consume the product. So you will increase the chances of them buying again if you send them emails or pick up the phone and call them or whatever you've got to do to actually get them to consume your product. So after they bought, get them to consume it. Get them to go through it. Send them emails, recommending, hey, did you go through this section yet? Did you implement this? Did you try this? Because the more of your product that they consume, the more likely they will go through and end up buying the next thing that you offer. Because if you offer something, 5 days after they, bought the first thing and they haven't done anything with thing number one, then even if thing number two is speaking directly to them, a lot of the times the initial reaction that's going to come up in their head is, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. I'd like to have it, but I still haven't done anything with this last one, so I'm going to go through that first. So in the chat box, just type in, I want to make sure that where everybody's tracking here, do these steps make sense? Is everything making sense? You understand what we've went through so far? Because we're going to kind of shift gears and get in a little bit deeper here. I just want to make sure that everything makes sense. All right, perfect. So looks like nobody is asleep. So let's go ahead and continue on. Brenda, you want to kind of jump in here? I've been taking over for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the process of how we break down the marketing process with our students and why they're having quantum leaps in their business. And the question that usually comes into play is, how long does this actually take to learn? And we're going to give you a general time frame in just a second. We're going to kind of go over the best way we would break down the time frames of how long you can expect to achieve these results. But the reality is that it's completely up to you. And I have a lot of people that when they get started, they'll ask me that question, well, how long is it going to take me to earn some money? And it's a great question, and I understand where it comes from. It's a fear-based question, but I have no idea how to answer that question because I have thought in the past that, oh my gosh, this person is going to come in and they're going to do so much, they're going to be great, and they never did anything. And then I've also had people that kind of came in and they were very slow to get started and questioning, but they dug deep and they wanted it really bad, and they far exceeded my expectations. So the reality is we're going to show you all of these steps, and the time frame is completely up to you. And I never ever want to tell people exactly because, again, I would love to have see people completely blow me out of the water. And it's a perfect example. I'm going to share with you Trish's story because Trish was definitely someone that went through the process with us, and she absolutely did an amazing job fulfilling it.
So the result I got by working with Brenda and Justin is that I tripled my income in just 3, almost 4 weeks, and I was just amazed by that. I couldn't believe the success that I was seeing because I finally got the help that I was looking for all along. I can't tell you what it feels like to finally be able to have that success and to see that the road that I'm on is lit, and it's lit because Brenda and Justin have shined a light for me so that I can see exactly where it is that I'm heading. So as I sit here and I think about it, I was looking and looking, and I wish that someone would have told me sooner about these opportunities, because I would have jumped on a lot sooner. I know and I feel that if I hadn't have done this, I would still be struggling. And so the one thing that I can offer, and I feel like it would be an injustice if I didn't tell you that if you are struggling and you're ready to make a difference and you want to change and you want to have success in your business, you need to jump on here, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take you to get to your dream. And the longer it takes you to get to your dream, the less you'll get to live inside that dream.
So as you can see, Trish tripled her income 3 to 4 weeks, and we did the exact thing. We took her business, we showed her exactly what we would suggest and how she can go out there and implement this stuff, and she did exactly what we were suggesting with her. And so that kind of brings us to the time frame on this business setup, like we were explaining to you. So steps 1 through 4, and then 5 through 7, and then hang on. Hope the other ones come up. Well, we'll start. Go ahead, Justin, and talk about these, and then we'll just pretend that 8 through 11 are actually there.
All right. So steps 1 through 4.
Obviously, a little bit of a transition glitch when we had to transfer these slides over here.
It's all good. It's all good. Good thing we've done this 3 times, because we kind of remember what these steps are now. know what's going on.
Go add a presentation mode.
All right. So steps 1 through 4 is. If you really zoom out on those first 4 steps, you'll see that those are basic lead generation. That's getting stuff set up. It's really starting to drive some traffic and just getting the leads coming in, because that's the first thing you've got to do is get the leads in the door. And as far as time frames, if you're just starting out, then this is something, if you focus on it and you know that your objective is to get your lead generation system set up and really get that part of it down in mastering these first 4 steps. You can get that done brand new with no experience if you've got the right training in about 3 weeks. So the second steps, or the next part of it, steps 5 through 7, and then steps 8 through 11. 5 through 7 are more so ongoing. All right, that's something that those are both mastery steps that they never end. It takes at least 6 months to really get marketing psychology and copywriting down and really master that. Steps 8 through 11, those will be, and actually, let's see here. So step 8 through 11, that is really going to take between 8 and 12 months. All right, that's going to be about a year to get to really, before you master those steps. But here's the thing, we don't want you walking through and looking at these and saying, okay, well, crap, that's going to take, once I get this first 4 steps, I got to spend 6 months straight working on steps 5 through 7, because that's not the case. The goal here is we really want you to get through, after you get the first 4 steps down, the goal is to put together an execution plan for you to really look at your funnel, look at everything that you've set up with objective eyes through steps 5 through 7 in about a week and a half, and just knock down everything that you need to go through and analyze every part of your funnel, and just get it complete. Because once you get it complete, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be done. But if you get it complete, then you go back and you can spend the time learning more about psychology and how it works, learning more about copywriting and how it works. And then you just go back and you just, you take each piece of your marketing and it just gets better and better and better. And after about 6 months of focusing on that area, then you're going to pretty much have mastered that. And obviously it's an ongoing thing, but you'll have it down way better than anybody else. And then you'll go into the next steps and you just look at it objectively and talk about scaling and really learning how to track your metrics and scaling and all of that stuff. So the objective here, again, is to get through the first 4 steps in 3 weeks and then go through steps 5 through 11 as quickly as possible in about a week and a half. And once you've done that, once you've got that execution plan and really knocked it out, and that's what we did with Trish as well, just sort of looked through it. She came to the Ignition Mastermind, we looked through it, put together an execution plan for her, and just knocked it out. It's not perfect. It's going to be something that we continue to refine and get better over time. But that's sort of the objective in the timeline here. And I apologize that those other steps didn't come up because it makes it a little bit difficult for me to explain without the visual there. But that's sort of the time frame that we're working with here. So as you're looking at these 11 steps, figure out where you fit yourself into, and you'll have an idea of the time frame.
Yeah, and so the other side of this is that, okay, well, so how could I possibly shorten this learning curve? I mean, that sounds great and I can get that through, but are there other ways to actually make this a little bit shorter? And the answer is yes. And I'm going to list a few of these for you that we're seeing right now, which is actually working in a lot of people. So the first one is daily rituals built for your specific schedule. I mentioned before that time strategy is such a big thing. Like, okay, so I know what I need to do, but how do I fit it into my day and when can I get it done? Because I got to tell you, if you're working from home, it's great to work from home, but it's really easy to not work from home also. If you've gone to work all day and you've had a long commute and you've got home and, it's 8 o'clock at night and you're just tired and you don't really want to go to your computer and sit and work again, you just want to chill. Yeah, that makes sense. But if you really want to go after your dream, you got to be able to figure out how to fit this stuff into your schedule. And that's a big thing that sometimes it's hard to do without an outside perspective. So the other thing is weekly interactions with mentors and peers. And this one right here is if you're not in the situation where you actually have people that are above you and that have had the success that you want, that are able to help you and guide you, along with the people that are going through the same journey that you are at the same time, it's really hard to build this business. And I want to make sure that you're aware that this is not a solo business. That's probably one of the biggest commonalities when I get people into a group or I do a lot of research, is that they really feel that everybody else is doing so much better than they are. And the reality is that's not true. It's the fact that no one ever really talks about it. And when you can get people together and you can experience like, oh my gosh, you're going through this too. Oh, well, what did you do to get out of this? Or, well, this is what happened to me. And then you have mentors that have been through there and have got, talked with other people that have done it and say, well, you know what, this is what worked for me and this is what worked for them. Why don't you try this? This is a big one that will shorten your learning curve. The other thing is that, with all these things out there, all these tasks to do, like I said, it's easy to not work from home also. So you need to have a process that holds you accountable to the tasks that are actually going to move you forward. Because you can go out there and, set these goals all day long, but, you're the only one that's keeping you on track. It's going to just get pushed away and away and away because it's very easy to justify your reasonings of why you're not doing something. But if you got to get on a call and you got to talk to somebody or post in a group that, oh, okay, this is what I need to do and I need to get it done, you're going to have a lot more writing on it because you're not going to want to be the one that doesn't do it, right? So the other thing is that all of those steps 1 through 4, all that to-do stuff, all of that how do you do these things, you need specific training for that. You need marketing training. And that's where all of those different trainings are. That's why they're out there. Everybody buys so many different trainings. But the problem is that they're incomplete because they only talk about one specific part of the process. Well, the questions then become, well, where do they fit into the entire thing? And how do they fit into the process? And so having those trainings all in one place and in the order that you need them step by step is really, oh my gosh, it just takes off so much pressure and frustration when people don't understand how to go through the whole process correctly. And then the ultimate holy grail of how to shorten your learning curve is an immersion setting, when you really get rid of all of the distractions of your daily life. You focus, you come in for a weekend, and you just bust everything through. Kind of exactly what we were sharing with Trish. We just got it all through. She went back and implemented it. And in our experience working with people, that's just the fastest way to get things done. So now for the good stuff. I mean, you've been on here on this webinar for a while now. We've just walked through the 11 steps, and now we really want to just kind of show you why most people don't perform to their full potential when it comes to making money online, because we need to bridge the gap for you guys right now. So my question to you is, are you aware of where you are right now? We went through the steps, and Justin did a great job of explaining all of the different features. And what I want you to do is really figure out where you are, but then figure out what you need to do to get to be where you want to be. Because we just gave you everything that you need to know, but from our experience, we also know that 95% of people cannot do this on their own. So ask yourself this question, do I need the tech help? Is that what I need help with? Do I need help setting up the blogs, setting up the websites, creating videos, getting them online? Is it more of the tech stuff that's kind of holding you back? Do you need to have funnel help in creating the whole entire system that makes sales 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that if you are out there doing your regular job or the stuff that you're trying to get away from, you have already set yourself up so that you've got income coming in no matter what it is that you're doing? Do you need help setting something up like that? Are you maybe, already set up with your websites and you're getting some leads, but you need to get a lot more leads. You need to get some traffic strategies. You need to get a lot more people through. Or, maybe are you getting those leads and they're not converting? Are they not turning into sales? All of those things right there are really where we like to focus and see where are you right now, and let's get you to the next one. So hopefully right now you can kind of see, okay, this is where I might be, or yeah, that's what I need to do. And what we do is we actually break everything down step by step. We have tutorials, we've got hand holding. Wherever you are, we take you and we bring you up to where you need to be. And one of the things that Justin and I pride ourselves on is that we never ever tell people to go out there and do something if we haven't done it ourselves and we don't show you how to do it. And so with that, these 11 steps, they're just not enough. And you are here where you are right now because of the choices that you've made with the knowledge that you've had at the time. And I want you to understand that you can't expect to earn more than you are right now without becoming a new version of you. You can't be a six-figure online earner with the 70,000 job habits that you currently have. Change does not come on its own. You must want the change and you must be willing to go after it, even when you're uncomfortable and scared of your options. And there's this saying that kind of says, it's not the end of the success road that really matters. It's the journey that you take and the person you become on the way. And that's absolutely true, because you going through these journeys, you're going to have ups and downs, and the highs are awesome. Sometimes the lows happen, but you got to pull yourself up, and it's the person that you become that is really going to determine how much success you have. And so you're going to need help to be able to go through all this. You have to be able to have a hand that's going to pull you up and show you, come on, this is the way that you need to go. And we really do want to help you. We wouldn't be putting out different presentations and really breaking things down to help you if we didn't really actually want to help. And that's the main reason why we've created the Ignition Mastermind, is because we've already been helping so many people, and now we're opening up our doors to be able to help a lot more too. So Justin, you want to go through and kind of talk about what Ignition is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to give you guys an opportunity here in just a little bit to, if you've resonated with what we've said, to actually join the Ignition Mastermind and be a part. You've heard from a few people that are current members. So those that are asking, well, what exactly is it? Let's go ahead and just talk about what that is. And essentially, when Brenda went through the slide of, what does it really take to make this stuff stick? All right, because you can have the step-by-step stuff. You can have these processes and these systems and things, but if you don't have the ongoing training, the ongoing support, and those things that Brenda actually walked through, with time management, the community, and those type of things, then it's just really difficult to follow through. It's really difficult to implement. And if you've ever bought a product and not followed through, not implemented, then that probably resonated with you. You know exactly where we're coming from here. And to be honest, we've all done that as well. So Ignition is an opportunity to really get everything that we've outlined for you tonight, and to get it broken down into simplistic action steps that you can follow to really have a detailed marketing plan that's really specific for you. And also to have that ongoing support that's so important in the guidance that you can use to execute your plan for an entire 12 months. All right, and to do that, we want to also include live in-person immersion setting to really launch and scale that business. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever business you're building, we want to help you launch and scale it. If you're brand new and you need help starting the business from ground up and finding, starting with step one, then that's fine. If you're, already got all that stuff set up and you're a little bit more advanced, then that's fine as well. We want to come together, the immersion experience, when we come together and really find out, okay, where do you specifically fit into these 11 steps, and what is the execution plan that we need to help you build and put together. So who is Ignition for? Well, if you resonated with us up to this point, then obviously you know that Ignition may be a viable option for you. So it's for the 50 people that really are serious about building a minimum of $100,000 per year business in the fastest time possible, but don't really have the time or money needed to set everything up from scratch. All right, we take 50 people per year. Because of the nature of this program, we can only take 50 people per year because we work incredibly close to everybody. Now, it's for the people that are sick of struggling to build a consistent monthly income. So if you've made a sale here or there, but you're tired of riding this roller coaster and one day being great and being a high, and then the next day or the next week or the next month, not having anything come in, kind of be like a ghost town, then you want that consistency with your income. And so you really want to leverage the time and energy that we've put into this business and not have to do everything on your own. So if that's you, then Ignition is absolutely for you as well. Or if you've been trying to make money online for a while, but you can't seem to make anything work, then Ignition may be the logical next step, because there's a reason that things are not working. And I can tell you, and you probably already know this, I don't have to tell you, it's probably not the products, all right? It's outside of the products. It's an outside perspective. It's the additional things that Brenda talked about on that slide are the reason that things are not working. Have you ever had one of those days where, you've worked really hard all day, you've been in front of the computer just doing some stuff, but you're not exactly sure what you've accomplished? Then that's what we want to eliminate, to make sure that doesn't happen again. And also, if you've ever had one of those days where you've sat down, you've been really excited to get some work done, and you sit down and you just kind of stare at your screen because you have no idea where to start because there's just so many options, so many things going on. We want to make sure that we can eliminate that as well. And it's for people that want to lock arms with us and get the same level of mentorship and guidance that others have literally paid $25,000 for in the past. So that's really who Ignition is for.
So, the question might be, well, what will Ignition do for you? Let's flip it around for a second, because Ignition really gives you the confidence and plan of action that will produce the results when you sit down at your computer and follow it. I mean, just kind of imagine, like, it's laid out for you. You know exactly what it is that you're going to do is going to get the result that you want, because it's proven and tried. So it takes off a lot of weight from your own shoulders, and the responsibility of, like, oh my gosh, is this going to fail? What am I going to do? I don't have a lot of time. We're going to give you the confidence that it's going to work. It's going to work for you. And we're going to give you that hand-holding that you've been searching for. And this is going to speed up your rate of success. All of that stuff that we've mentioned before, we show you how to do it. We have so many tutorials, hours and hours worth of tutorials of me over my shoulder, click by click, showing you exactly how to do something. So if you wanted to create your own capture page, if you want to create your own webinar or set up your autoresponder or create a video and upload it, all of that stuff that you might be wondering how to do that you don't know how to do it, if you've ever wanted something like that, we have it for you, because like I said, if you need to be able to do something, we share with you exactly how to do it. And that right there has probably been part of the biggest eye-opening experience for some people that had very, very, that scared of tech stuff, like, I don't know how to do it. Well, you know how to follow things, and you know how to click by click and watch things, and that's exactly how it's going to help for you, because we give you that step-by-step training. So like the tech stuff, funnel stuff, this is the kind of stuff I all said. But then on the flip side, we also do a lot with advanced copywriting and the other 5 to 11 steps that we talked about, personal development, persuasion. There's a lot of ad copy in there and a lot of different trainings of conversions and how do you do all that stuff, the stuff that really takes everything to the next level. And Ignition is really going to help you relax, because it's going to allow you to know that you've got experienced professionals that really have your back, and we truly care about your success. And our actions prove it. You're not going to be left long away at all if you're an active member. So here's a perfect example of just like our group and what we have for you, because this is a screenshot from inside our private group, and this happened to be the top 3 posts all at one time inside our group. And so you can see the first one says, I just made a $700 sale. And the second one said, I just made my first sale ever online, 3 sales, $1,100, pretty psyched. And oh, that one was really cool, because the best part, it said that those sales came in while they were on vacation, getting things on autopilot. I mean, she's doing it. She's doing exactly what she's wanting to do. And the third one down there says, made $200 since last night, learning to promote myself better. Now, I share with you this because it's awesome that the members are getting results, but the one thing I want you to be aware of is that these 3 people are actually promoting different offers. Each one of them has their own business that they're promoting. And it doesn't mean that it's their own products that they've created. It just means that they're all in different companies, because us putting together the Ignition Mastermind, it was not that we're like, okay, let's take people and let's just show them exactly the best way to do it, and let's tell them that they have to do this. Because if you remember back to the beginning, it's like, everybody has individual strengths. Everybody has passions. Humans are so unique, and we have so many different strengths and weaknesses, and let's really think about what's best for you and allow you to promote that so that working becomes fun and enjoyable and it never seems like work. Now, if you don't have a business, like the other thing I told you in the beginning, do what works. We share with you exactly what it is. If you'd like to promote, we show you how you can do it. But the cool part is that you don't have to, and that's one of the things I really like. So you might be wondering, how does all of this actually work? So in the past, our focus was really only that live event because we knew it worked so well. And the people paid $5,000 to attend the live event. And now, starting right now, really, fall 2014, Ignition has become much, much more because, like I said, we kind of closed the doors in the past and we reworked basically everything. We took a step back. We asked ourselves, okay, well, I guess it's not on there, but it's so funny. We asked ourselves, how do we really keep the momentum, the progress, and the insight going for an entire year? I mean, it was we saw some amazing things happen, but when you get back, it's like, okay, well, how do we keep this going? So what we did is we actually added 6 new additions and a 12-month curriculum to the Ignition Mastermind. And so that's kind of what we want to share with you right now. So what Ignition actually includes. Let's go ahead and go over some of these things so you can really see what it's going to include now. And I know we had a few prior Ignition members that hopped on here, so if you guys haven't had a chance to see the new revamped one, it's amazing. So Justin, I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Like Brenda said, initially Ignition was sort of founded around this one 3-day immersion summit where we come together and really just get everything done that you need to get done to get you sort of, get your business ignited. So this was an event that people paid up to $5,000 per person to come to. All right. Now we've made the events a lot better. We've structured them so that they're structured in a different way where multiple people are going to be focused on you. We got breakout sessions where we focus specifically on what you need to get done, what you're trying to accomplish, and we help you personally build out your execution plan so that you can leave there knowing exactly what you need to do. We've also made 2 of these events per year. So these were a $5,000 per event that, this whole Ignition started with, and we've actually added 2 of them for the year. So in November and April, you're going to have two opportunities to come hang out for 3 days for these immersion summits, just to make sure that the first one gets you kicked off and the second one keeps you on track with whatever you're doing. These are $5,000 events, so a value there of $10,000 that is easily, you're going to walk away from those events and have just a lot of stuff, a lot of clarity. Now, in addition to that, like Brenda said, we've added 6 new things. The first one is the 5-week elite results coaching. So Brenda, actually, since you ran this the first time, I want you to talk about this one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that I used to do in my prior business, and it was a 4-week event. Actually, we added 1 more extra week to it, where I really took the small groups that were interested in moving forward and charged them $4,000 to go through this 4-week course. Well, what we did is we've now taken that exact same idea and we've included it into Ignition. And the reason being is because when you get to this live event, we really want to make sure that everybody can maximize the 3 days that they're actually there. And so what we do is we have you fill out a very detailed survey 5 weeks ahead, which in reality is actually coming up at the end of October, would be 5 weeks before our next mastermind. And so once you fill this out, what we do is we kind of break you up into different groups depending on where your strengths are, and then we'll have 5 weeks where the trainings will kind of come out ahead of time, give you a little curriculum plan to follow, so that way when you get to the live event, you are completely ready to go. We can bust through every single thing that we need to do, so that way on the 3rd day, you're completely done, can go home and just start marketing it and getting everything working together. So it kind of is taking that shortening your learning curve aspect that we were talking about and kind of almost putting it on steroids. So like I said before, I charged $4,000 specifically for this 4-week coaching session, and we're actually including that inside the Ignition Mastermind for free when anybody comes in. So the next thing we have, Justin, you want to talk about the training calls?
Yeah, so these training calls, we're going to have 1 per month, the 2 months that we're excluding the 2 months that we actually meet up live. And this is essentially the Ignition curriculum. This is what we follow. We go in depth. We have to, based on the feedback that we get and what you guys are doing, we do an in-depth training call. Sometimes we will do them, sometimes we'll bring in some of our buddies to do them. Really just depends on, we want to make sure that whatever topic is being taught on, that the person that's teaching it knows what they're doing, and we go in depth and really giving you what you need at the right time. So these 10 monthly training calls, if we were to take these, I mean, these are calls where we just open up all of our business. We don't hold anything back. We open up. We're very, very transparent. And so these are private to Ignition Mastermind members. And if we were to sell these individually, these trainings would easily sell for $197. We could turn each one of them into their own standalone product for $197 each. You get 10 of them over the course of the year with your Ignition Mastermind membership. So again, you can do the math there. That would be a value of $1970. Now, the next piece is small group monthly hot seat mastermind calls. And one of the big breakthroughs that I had when I first got started, I had spent a ton of money, and I got some one-on-one mentoring. And that really led me on a journey where within 91 days I was able to sell $100,000 worth of stuff on the internet. And it was because of the outside perspective that I got from that one-on-one training call. So when we built Ignition, when we actually set everything up and developed it, we knew that that was going to be the most powerful, the most powerful component, because when you have one person focused, one person that's been there and done what you're trying to do, and they focus their brain on your challenges, your struggles, your opportunities, and give you their outside perspective, that's really when breakthroughs occur. Now, when you multiply that and you have multiple people's that have been there and their brains are focused on 100% on you, then it just makes things, it just amplifies the breakthroughs, and that's where ideas, insights, and humongous breakthroughs. And so that's the reason that Brenda and I both pay a lot of money every year to go to these masterminds. I mean, these type of in-depth masterminds where you get up in front of the room and you present, here's what I'm working on, here's, my business, and everybody in the room is focused on you, then that's where the breakthroughs occur. And these masterminds cost $25 to $50 to $100,000 per year to be a part of. So we decided, how do we want to actually take that, and how can we make it so that it's extended and we don't lose momentum and have to wait, just twice a year. And that this bullet point right here is the actual solution. It's these small group hot seat mastermind calls. We break you up into groups and walk you through this process and basically recreate that live event immersion process, experience, without having to get out of the house and actually having to travel. So this would be, if we were to sell this as a standalone product, it would easily be worth $500 a month. You get it for the entire year. You're going to have the opportunity to get in front of people and in your small group and really take part of that and participate. So you can do the math there. That would be $6,000. The next component would be the private Ignition community. So we have a private community where everybody goes and shares their highs and their lows. All right, this is some of that. This is used for different accountability. It's used for just sharing your wins, sharing your victories. It's used for venting when things aren't going, the right way, and also to ask and get pretty much real-time response and feedback when you're having trouble with something or when you need an answer to something. What's the best autoresponder to use? What do you use for whatever? This is the place to come, and the members there. That way, it's almost instantaneous feedback. So this particular private community, that's easily worth the value there. Some of the threads that are inside this private community that go on, we could sell the threads as a standalone product easily for $100 because they happen all the time. So,
I just put one in there last night, and I was like, they gave me ideas, and I'm like, man, right here, people would charge for this.
Yeah, it's crazy. So multiply that out. I mean, we're talking easily $100 a month. You get it unlimited access to it for a full year. Then another big component that we're really excited about is the monthly ritual integration component. Now, ritual integration, if you look at anybody, you can determine what their rituals are without even having a conversation with them. You know what their rituals around health, fitness, and exercise are just by simply looking at them. You can tell, if they have exercise rituals, if they have, healthy eating rituals, or if it's exact opposite. That's because rituals determine your life. That is absolutely true. And in your business, your success is dependent upon what your rituals are. So what we do is we actually help you when you come in to Ignition. We help you put together, figure out, okay, we plug you into the 11 steps and say, okay, well, where are you at in this process? What are you trying to get? What are your objectives? Where are you trying to go? And what are the highest leverage things that you need to put into place, and the highest leverage habits that you need to create in order to get you there in the quickest and easiest time possible. And so once we identify these, we help you actually build rituals around them, and we do this every month. So every month, we're going to come back and we're going to help you build a new ritual. And we have a training that we do this every month. We have rituals that we suggest we can help you figure out. That way you're consistently getting better throughout the course of the year. And month over month, these things start to combine and compress and just really start picking up momentum. And we also bring in, because we don't want you creating a ritual one month and then forgetting about it the next month when you're doing another one. So we bring in, different little things that we, different tricks and things that we can actually do to help keep you, plugged into your existing rituals too, so they do really combine and you have that compound effect. So if we were to sell these individual monthly trainings, which actually we may be selling an individual product and creating a product out of one of these trainings in the future, and these are easily going to be worth $200, and you're going to get one every single month. So the second part is accountability. Now, accountability, if you really think about it, we all sit in front of our computer, and we get up. Sometimes we feel like we're doing a lot of productive stuff, but oftentimes we know that we're not. So these calls are very quick. They're going to be simple calls that we jump on every single month, and they're going to be quick. They're going to be efficient. They're going to get the job done in terms of accountability, because everybody's going to have to be stepping up. And no, I don't ever want to be that guy. I'm in some of these groups myself, and I don't ever want to be the guy that shows up and says, okay, I didn't complete what I said I was going to get done last week. It's okay to do that every once in a while, but you won't do that month after month after month or week after week. You're going to eventually, kick yourself in the behind and do it. So we like to have this particular, this additional layer of accountability added in, and that's something that I would pay a lot more than $100 for, but you get that type of facilitation every single month. Now, if you just add those up, the total for these 6 new elements and the 2 live events, the total for that is going to be $26,698 if we were to put a value on it. Now, what I want you to do is look at this objectively, because I don't like, whenever I'm looking at stuff, and people are breaking down values are completely objective. I mean, you might not be needing 100% of these things tomorrow. So look at these, figure out, okay, which one of these would be valuable for me, which ones would I use, and then put your own value on it. Whatever you think it would be worth for you, put your own value on it. But these are more like, if we were to sell them, or we do sell them, this is the price. So this is real world value. You can, some it might be a lot more than this, but so definitely just put your own value on it. And one other thing to keep in mind as well, for the members that come on, our Ignition Mastermind members, we like to give them the opportunity, if you refer somebody, if you know somebody that's building a business, that's a small business owner that would like to also join Ignition Mastermind, if you do that and you refer them, then you have the ability to make $1,500 commissions. Now, this isn't something that we require. It's something that we like to offer the members, and we'll talk a little bit more on this here in just a minute. We like to offer it to them just so that your tuition, this can basically pay for your tuition. It's completely hands-off if you want it to be, or if you want to make this your business, you're more than welcome to do that as well. So that's just something that you might want to think about. So Brenda, you want to touch on a little bit more of that? We'll move on to the next. We'll give you guys a link here in just a minute, guys, because I know you're probably excited about how do you get started. So.
Yeah, so like Justin said, you also have the opportunity to get paid to refer others, and the $1,500 commission is a very nice high-ticket commission to be able to be pulling in. The reason why I like it so much for the members is because of this right here. We have a back-end sales process, and if you remember, I said that Ignition has been closed for a while. Well, we were revamping what we're going to do for all of the members, but we were also really working hard on the back-end funnel side of things. And so what we've done is we we've included the fact that you only, if you refer people to Ignition, you only need to send traffic to the front end, because then we have a very detailed process that the applications are going to come through, the people that are interested in, and we have a sales team that actually would close those sales for you. So the reality is that you would only need to follow exactly what we share with you and what's working now, and follow our lead. And so even if you do have another business, even if you do have other stuff out there, this is a great way for you to earn some extra $1,500 commissions, because, it only takes a few sales to make a big impact on your life with Ignition. I mean, one sale is $1,500, two is $3,000. You got 30 days in a month to be able to make $3,000, and all you're doing is following along with us. It's very, very helpful right there. And so the one thing I just want to also bring to your attention is that, Justin and I, we don't just teach this stuff. We're not out here just being gurus that say, okay, this is what you do, this is what you do. We're actually marketing right now. We're in the trenches. We're promoting Results 513. We're promoting Ignition. And we show you, we open up our doors, or we open up our computers basically, and say, look, this is what the numbers are. This is what's working right now. We just did some Facebook ads. We just did some solo ads. These are the number breakdown. If I were you and you're promoting this, follow our lead on this. And that right there is just tremendous insight into what's working, how to incorporate it into your business, and also just to follow along so that you can have that hand-holding that you're wanting. And so just to kind of think about right now, how long does it take you with what you're doing right now to earn $1,500? I mean, would it be nice for you to earn some of these extra commissions? And here is Sandy, who is one of our Ignition members, and I have to have you guys listen to this like 30 seconds, but Sandy's come such a long way, and I just really want to show you what's possible.
My name is Sandy. I met Brenda and Justin about 7 months ago. Before I found them, I was working in different areas online, trying different things, not really sure what I was doing or what to do next. And then I met Brenda and Justin at their live event in Arizona, and I just felt relieved. I knew I found what I needed. They are such down-to-earth people. I thought I had learned a lot over the couple of years I'd been working at internet marketing before I found them, but when I was at that event, I realized I didn't really know anything of any value, and I was just totally amazed that weekend. Brenda and Justin just put everything in perspective for me. They made me come out of my comfort zone, and I knew I had to step it up if I was going to achieve the results I wanted. But being here in Ignition Mastermind for the last 7 months has really given me the clarity and courage I needed to step it up. Brenda and Justin have done more for my internet marketing career in the last 7 months than I had done for myself in the previous couple of years. And I guarantee you will not find a better learning system for internet marketing. Thank you, Brenda and Justin. I love you guys.
And so I'm just really proud of Sandy of how far she's come. I mean, she was just in our Facebook group the other day saying that, okay, I went ahead and took out this ad, I did this ad, and this is what I got. And she just sounded like such a seasoned veteran. And from where she came before, when she didn't even want to post in the group, to where she is now, it's been such a huge leap for her. And I really just wanted to take the opportunity to kind of let her shine for just a little while here. Because the thing is that, none of our members really have any special skills to achieve their success except for their desire. Because marketing skills, this stuff is learned. This is the stuff that we can teach you. So if you have a desire and you want to be able to change, this is absolutely possible. Because I want you to ask yourself this question, of what if? What if you do come in right now and this is exactly what you've needed to change everything around? What if you're able to actually quit your job? What if you're able to be able to wake up whenever you want to and spend the day with your entire family and then work a few hours out of the day or the week and achieve these results at the same time? What if that's actually possible? And then there's a flip side to this is, what if I don't do this? If I don't take action on this right now, what's going to happen? Do you have another option? We've got 3 more months for the rest of the year. What if you don't do something? How are you going to be able to get to where you want to go? And so you might think, all right, here we are, give me the scoop. How do I get started? Like I mentioned, we do have this long application process to go through. You have to fill out an application. It's quite in-depth. We call you back. We have our assistant call you back. You have some homework to go through. We check references. And it really is a detailed process to really qualify the people that are coming through. Because if we're going to be working with you and holding your hand and taking all of the time that we take with our members, we need to make sure that you are someone that's teachable and really worthwhile to be part of our group. And so the thing we want to share with you right now, though, is if you're listening to us right now, you're on this webinar live, you're on the recording, and you're hearing this presentation right now, we do have a special offer for you. We're going to actually allow you to bypass this long process, which can actually take up to 2 weeks to go through, and get you instant access into Ignition if you're qualified. And because we're bypassing this long process, you guys are actually going to be able to be speaking directly with us, which doesn't actually happen. To get Justin and I on the phone, it kind of takes a big deal. But because we're bypassing this process, we need to be qualifying you and making sure that you're the people that we really want.
Yeah, and so I just want to jump in here, and guys, we've been here. Appreciate you hanging on. We've been here right at 90 minutes, and we're going to give you the link to go check it out and to come on board as an Ignition member. But before we do, I just want to reiterate that this is something that it typically takes. It's a long process to go through, and we want to give you guys the just reward you guys and allow you to come on and just bypass that whole product or that whole process, and also to get on the phone directly with us. So if you're listening, if you're ready to get started, you can open up a new tab right now. You can go to results513.com/special. So results513.com/special. And again, we've got some additional stuff. We're going to continue to give you some value and show you some more stuff as we go through here. And we've got some really good bonuses that it's definitely worth hanging around for. But if you're one of those people right now, okay, this is, I've seen enough. This is amazing. I want to go ahead and join. We want to go ahead and be respectful of your time because we promised you 90 minutes. We're right at that time right now. Even with a little bit of glitch, so we're right here at the 90-minute mark, and we want to give you the opportunity to go ahead and join now. So if you want to hang around, you're definitely more than welcome to do that. We're going to continue on, and we appreciate it either way. So,
well, and the other thing is that like we said before, sometimes when you're going into something like this, it's a little bit fearful or scary because you're like, well, what if? And I really want to bring the point home is that we really do care about our members. Justin and I would not have stopped our own successful businesses and turn around and create this if we really didn't care about helping entrepreneurs become better. Is we have this firm belief that the world is going to be better with a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and we're kind of doing whatever it is that we can to help facilitate that. And I just want to share with you this real quick.
I think that anybody who has the ability or the chance to work with them should do so. And, what I would say is that bring your story. My story is a story of need and desire to have a better life for my family. And that's how I came online. And Justin heard my story, and I made him cry with my story. And it touched him to his heart, and I will never forget the hug he came up and gave me afterwards and how much that meant to him. To hear me share the struggles that I went through to get where I'm getting emotional about it because it even still gives me goosebumps. But we all have struggle.
Why does that bring up?
It brings up goosebumps because we all have struggle, and when you can overcome it through hard work and dedication, it's really something that no one else can take away from you. They might take your house, they might take your car, they might take your bank accounts, they might take your money, and you have nothing left. And then when you rebuild like I did, it really is nothing that can be taken from you. And I think that that's what touched Justin, because he was in a very similar place at one point as far as working his 3 jobs and trying to figure out what was going to come next for him. Brenda's a mom. We resonated about being moms of younger children. And one of the things that we all wanted was a better life for our family. And so I just have to say, for them, I'm proud of where they have come. I'm proud that I've been able to walk this walk with them. And it's just a very special relationship that you can have when you can work with people that you like and trust, but you respect and you love.
all right, so that's awesome. I really like that video. Vanessa is just an amazing person, and we're definitely glad to have her as a friend and part of the family. So What I want to do now for those that are sticking on, I told you we had some bonuses. I want to get into those, and it's funny. I the first time that we did this, we actually had a slide right after that video because it's a great video. It's you know it. It was a slide that really threw people off, and I screamed. It was one of those big things. It said, "But wait, there's more," and I screamed it, and I think I scared about 90% of the people on the
Scared
webinar.
me.
And so we removed that, but for those of you that are definitely interested, we want to give you just a little bit more value. Actually, a lot more
A
value.
lot. It's not a little. There's
with,
a lot
with
here.
these bonuses here, and I can tell you right now, before we even get into them, these bonuses themselves are worth more than the investment for Ignition Mastermind. So each one of these bonuses as an individual thing are definitely worth more. So the first bonus is we want to offer you done for you traffic and profit opportunities. And this is an opportunity to have us manage your traffic. Now I bought a ton of traffic. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars on buying ads, and we're just pretty damn good at it. And to have, we'll tell you, we'll answer questions and help you along all day long, but we don't actually go in and manage people's ads for them. All right, I actually do this, but I charge $12,000 to do it. So we've put together something. We were thinking, all right, well, if we have people come in that are not interested in promoting Ignition, if they've got their own business, we want to be able to help you work on that business, but we also want to give you the opportunity to have your membership paid for, to really get some results and start bringing some income in as quickly as possible. So we put together these done for you traffic opportunities. So all you literally have to do, because the funnel that we've built for Ignition is just simply go up, and the funnel we built basically takes care of everything. All you have to do is focus on traffic. But if you're focusing on traffic for your business, we want to give you the opportunity to just plug into these done for you co-ops and really have hands-off marketing. So no need to mess with tracking, analytics, ad copy, vendors, anything like that. All you do is simply purchase shares. We take care of the rest. That way you can actually focus on building your business while your money's working for you behind the scenes. And so that's one thing that we wanted to really offer and bring in. And like I said, for me to manage your traffic campaign personally, it is $12,000. So if you would like me to manage your traffic campaign personally, I'd be happy to do that for 12 grand, or you can just join Ignition and have us do it for free. So this is a bonus that we want to actually offer you for the ones that are coming on for Ignition. Now, the next bonus is, in my opinion, one of the most valuable bonuses. This one bonus alone is worth 100 times the investment to Ignition. So this is done for you SOP access, and SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. Now, this is absolutely the biggest secret to scaling your business. Anything that you do in your business more than once, you need to create an SOP. All right, create a standard operating procedure. I built my business on following this and doing this. So when I do anything, all right, whether it's sending an email, scheduling a meeting, writing a sales letter, hiring an employee, doing a product launch, hosting a live event, running a 4-day sale, creating a product, setting up a blog, writing a blog post, setting up a Facebook group, managing a launch calendar, hosting a webinar, setting up a funnel. When I go and do anything that I'm going to have to potentially do again in the future, I would go and create an SOP. All right, basically it's a checklist with steroids. It's a step-by-step. Okay, log in here, do this. This is exactly how you do this one thing. You want to send an email? That way I could do it consistently the same time every time. And that's what really creates the consistency and the momentum. And I don't have to think about it the second time, and it saves me a ton of time, doing this stuff as we go along. So I've done that in my business. Brenda's done that in her business. And what we've decided to do, as we're building out Results 513 and we're marketing Ignition and we're doing these things on our own, we've started creating these SOPs. And we're going to be sharing our most popular SOPs with you as a member of Ignition Mastermind. That way you can literally just take them and steal them. You can take them, copy them, and use them for yourself. Right? Modify them for yourself. Now the rule is you cannot share them with anybody ever. But the reality is I put a $10,000 value on here, and the absolute reality, I have a few companies that I follow and a few marketers that I follow, and I really try to model what they do. I see them doing big things, and I follow them very closely. if they were, if any of those companies were to open up and say, Justin, I'll sell you our top 10 or top 20 SOPs, how we do things around here. Are you interested? I would drop $100,000 overnight. Like I wouldn't think twice about it, because I know that would make things so much easier. I would literally just be able to copy it, paste it, and I wouldn't have to pay nearly as much attention to them. I could just pull, if I wanted to do something that I see them do. I open up the SOP and it shows exactly, okay, well, here's how they did it, and I just go and follow it along. So this, to me, is absolutely the most valuable piece of this, and it's worth well over the cost, the investment for Ignition. So that's bonus number 2. Now, bonus number 3 is free results 513 live event tickets. Now, in addition to the 2 mastermind events that we do in November and April, we have other live events. These live events are typically, they're structured a little bit different. We have a stage where we get up on, and there's typically more people. These events cost around $197 for the tickets. We also have VIP access that people can pay additional money for, and we have a bonus day. And these bonus days are typically $500. Sometimes they're $1,000. Really depends on what the focus is of the bonus day. But as an Ignition Mastermind member, you can come to any of these events that we do in the future, and you can come for free. You get free upgrades to VIP, so you get VIP seating, you get recognition during the event. We'll tell you, we'll make sure people know that you're a rock star, you're a badass, and you're part of Ignition. And also, when we do these bonus days, whether they're a $500 bonus day or a $1,000 bonus day, you're going to get that for free as well. So these bonus days are very focused. There's usually a lot smaller number of people, so it's just more one-on-one time where we go in depth into one specific thing that's helpful for you. All right, so the value on this, if you were to come to the events and pay for your ticket and pay for the bonus day, if it was $500, and that would essentially be a $697 value. And again, you get to come to all of these events that we have for absolutely free as a member of the Ignition Mastermind. So if you've made it this far and you're thinking, okay, these bonuses are enough, hopefully you're over at results513.com/special right now already. And but we want to give you a little bit of incentive right now to go ahead and do that right now, and not even listen to the rest. You can listen to it, just minimize it, but open up a new window and go ahead and go over there right now. I'm going to give you some fast action bonus, and if you're watching this recording and this is still up, then this is actually still available as well. So that fast action bonus is a strategy session with us personally. Okay, so we charge $1,000 per hour with a 2-hour minimum to get on the phone and have us do one-on-one consulting with you. Now, we're going to give you a 45-minute business evaluation and strategy session. In addition to, when you come on board, we're going to, we'll reach out and set that time up with you, where this is just extra. This is over and above, and in addition to everything else that you get with Ignition. We're going to personally get on the phone with you, Brenda or myself, and we're going to go through a business evaluation. We've got a set of questions that we can walk through, and you will have we'll get more done on that call and give you more insights than in 45 minutes than you've potentially gotten in weeks or months. So we're going to give you 45 minutes of our focused time for that business evaluation and strategy session. Again, $1,000 an hour is our normal fee, so 45 minutes, that would be $750. And what we want to do is also show you, there's one thing about showing, us putting just a lot of stuff out, because there's a lot here in Ignition. What we want you to understand is this is stuff that actually works. All right, we're not just giving you a bunch of stuff to give you a bunch of stuff and try to pile on a lot of value. This is stuff that actually works. And to be quite honest, let's just be real with each other. We could sit here and tell you that all day, but it doesn't hold nearly as much weight as somebody else actually coming in and telling you. So we had Mark Hoverson come in. He left us a testimonial, and we just want you to hear what he says about it.
Greetings from Mark Hoverson. Hope you are doing well. I have known Justin Glover and Brenda Gagne for probably 3 to 4 years each. And what I like best about them is that when I met them at first, they were just tenacious students and buyers of some of my products. But there's a lot of people that buy my products. Here's what separates them from 98% of people is they started from scratch and they worked their way up to six figures and then beyond. And here's the cool thing about it. Brenda reminds me of my mom. So she cares about the people that buy from her. She cares about the people. She cares about the quality of the product. Just she's a normal person, and she's not some just creeping online money grabber person. And that's what's awesome about Brenda. Is like I'd introduce her to my family any day of the week. And she could take my kids off for the weekend and take them to Disney, and they'd be totally set. So that's the type of person Brenda is. Now Glover, on the other hand, just kidding, Glover. Glover is a down-home boy from Arkansas, and it's the same kind of thing. Here's a guy who started in a lot of struggle, but with a tenacious dream to be free financially. And he pushed through all the funk and the junk that can prevent you from succeeding. He pushed through it, and he's one of the smartest, most thoughtful marketers that I know, and he's just tenaciously testing. He's very meticulous about what he does. His work ethic is unbelievable. So when Brenda and Glover combine, there's a couple things I know for sure are going to happen. One thing is they're not going to put out any training or content that they don't know doesn't work, because that's just not the type of people they are. Number two, anybody who comes under the protection of their product, literally I say the protection because without what they're going to teach, you're probably going to like meander off and do things you don't need to do. I know anyone who comes under and becomes clients with them will be cared for individually. I'm not saying they're going to be calling you on the phone 24/7, but I'm saying these guys, Glover and Brenda, will think of you as an individual and take that into consideration, and they create all their content for you as a consumer, and they've thought this thing out so thoroughly. Have I given enough glowing testimony now? Anyway, I endorse those two 100%. I know you'll be pleased with what you discover. And the best thing is, neither of these two are hypey at all. They give accurate. I've worked with them, on a couple projects. They give accurate reporting. They don't inflate the promises, but they don't hold them back either. Like, there is a lot of potential for you in this whole online world. So anyway, Mark Overson, thanks for letting me share.
All right, so that's what Mark says. So even though there is a lot of stuff here, we do a quick recap. There's a lot here, right? So the $26,000 of value, it's not just a lot of stuff to build up this value. It's stuff that actually works. Now, when we were thinking about this, we wanted to make this a complete no-brainer. So when you add in on top of those $26,000 with the original stuff, add in the 4 bonuses, we're talking an extra $23,000 just in bonuses if we were to sell those standalone. Now, the total value, again, put your own value on these, but the retail price, $50,000 plus. So that's something to definitely consider. And if all this did was, I want you to think about this for just a second, all right? Let's say that you join Ignition Mastermind. If all it did was allowed you to spend more time with your family, enjoying each other's company and making memories together, would it be worth it? If all it did was allow you to pay your bills and have that extra money to splurge on items or vacations just because, would it be worth it? And if all it did was create a lifestyle where you're happy every day and content in the life that you created, I seriously want you to just consider that question. Would this be worth it? And if you answered yes, then I absolutely want you to go and take us up and come into the Ignition Mastermind. Because, it's not going to cost you $50,000. Even though we're giving you that much in the value, it's not going to cost you $50,000. When we're thinking about this, putting it all together, we're thinking, all right, well, how can we make this in such a way where we can deliver value and give this much value and still make it affordable for people to come on? So we do have payment plans available. So again, when you go over to results513.com/special, we do have absolute payment plans available. And I want to touch on something that is something that going forward with all of these new 6 components, this is something that, if you're on the fence here, this will hopefully help you make that decision easier. we have a $100,000 guarantee. Okay, you might be saying, okay, that might have got your attention. When you join Ignition, if you don't make $100,000 within the first year of being in the group, bottom line is we don't want you to renew for the next year, because that means that you are not executing. You're not the type of person that we want to fill this mastermind with, because the reality is the conversations and the ideas that you get as part of this group, you can certainly make many millions, way more than $100,000 from when you go and actually apply them. So that's sort of our mindset on this. If we want the right people here, that's the reason that we have to get on the phone with you. That's the reason that we have such a strenuous process to go through for people that go through the normal way and they apply and they have the homework and they have to be interviewed and we check references and all that stuff. That's the reason, because we want to make sure that we fill the group with the right people. And those right people, you don't have to be making millions of dollars to be the right person. You can be brand new and just starting out and still be the right person. We just want, we need to make sure that you have the right mindset, you have the right motivation, you have the right drive, and you're not bringing negative energy to the group, because that pulls everybody down, and that's not what we're trying to accomplish. We want to be able to pull everybody up. So what is the next step? The next step is to go to results513.com/special. And when you go to that page, you're going to see two different options. And this is essentially for two different types of people. And if you're going to fall into person 1 or person 2, and Brenda, I want you to actually touch on what the difference in those are.
Sure, because there's, like you said, two different people, and after looking and working with so many people and for so many years, it's really broken down to just these two different phases here. Person number 1 is an action taker. They see the value, they understand what we're giving, or they understand what's been put in front of them, and it makes sense. And they're ready to take action and get started right now. Now, typically, this type of person that listens to their gut and they make these quick decisions are typically, stats show, are going to be the ones that actually have the most success. Now, that doesn't mean that if it's not you, then that's, you're not going to have success. It doesn't mean that, but what it does mean is that they're more inclined to say, this is what I want, it makes sense, let's not double think it, let's not just, wonder and what if, let's just move forward, because there's always that situation in the back of your head, well, what if I don't? And this makes sense to me, this is what I need, I'm going to go ahead and take action. And so if person number 1 is, if that's you, if you're really feeling like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to take it to the next level, because like we've said, we've done this a few times now, and we had a few people that have actually just purchased right on this webinar because they know this is what's going to help them move forward. Now, on the other side, there is person number 2, and this is somebody that just kind of needs to talk to somebody first, maybe go over some options, maybe get a few specific questions answered, and that's okay. We absolutely want to be able to show you that, what, we're here to help you. We're not here to take your quick buck, right? So if this is you, on that page at results513.com/special, you'll see there are two options. If you feel like you're not quite ready to say, yeah, I want to do this right now, I'd like to maybe get some questions answered, then absolutely, you can certainly go through that. You'll have a little the little form to fill out, and then we'll have you fill out that application process just like normal, and that's totally okay. We're going to contact you and get back with you, or probably have our assistant get back with you at that time, but it doesn't mean that you're not out. We really want you to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and confident with that process that you have. And what I'd like to do with you right now is just have we have two people here that are current Ignition members. They went to the last event, and right at the event we said, what did you think about this event? What would you tell others? And I want to share with you what they said, because it really comes from their point of view of getting what it is that they were hoping to get from the actual event.
Hey, this is Barbara Goldbach. I'm from New Hampshire at the Ignition Mastermind event. And I just wanted to tell you that it was absolutely the best event that I've ever been to out of all the events I've been to. I've gotten much more value out of this event than anything else. And I've been so impressed with the way that they want to make sure that we all get the value, questions answered, anything that we need before we leave. The things that have impressed me so much so far about the Ignition Mastermind event, gosh, it's just so much. It's number one, the people. I've never really experienced so much integrity and love and caring from everybody involved, and just the basically putting the program together with the way that they have and giving so much value. everybody's really able to like walk away, even day one, walk away with things completed that they never would have been able to get done before, on their own.
My name is Jeremiah Roberts, and I'm actually here from Tempe, Arizona, here in the Valley. Justin and Brenda have just really provided an avenue to really getting the big picture of your business, getting to leverage their experience of where they're at, of where they are at, and what we're striving to be. A lot of times, the ideas that we have in the frame, sometimes we have things out of place, and we think we're supposed to be here, when in fact, the reality is we're supposed to be here. And the great thing is that, Justin and Brenda have just had the confidence and the ability just to tell us that, just say, no, you need to be over here. This is where you need to be. And for me, it's just been a great experience. A lot of great speakers. And I guess the best thing, too, is that I've gotten away is really finding your unique value that you have to give to the marketplace. Because I'm one of probably 30 different people that are here that just have a ton of value to give to the marketplace. And it's just really understanding that we all have unique gifts and talents to give to other people. So one of the biggest things that's plagued our industry is just a lot of really hype, flashy numbers. Go ahead and just point and click. Buy this one turnkey software and you'll make thousands and thousands of dollars. There's just a lot of misinformation out there. And the nice thing about that, it really cuts through all the BS, and they give just a lot of really awesome straight on information just about how to really build a business from the end up. And in fact, just the training you get about how to reverse engineer your goals and where you want to be, that's just incredibly powerful. There's no one in the industry that's doing it.
So as you can kind of see, Ignition really is changing lives. And, we were in the beginning stages of it this last year and really trying to prove what we're doing and has been working. And we've been doing it in group settings, and it's changing lives. And as you can kind of see from these little pictures right here, we're definitely a group. We're a family that moves together and really is helping everybody get to the next stage in their life and then move on before. And so we are so excited that we're opening our doors now. We're ready to grow this a little bit bigger and be able to help a lot more people at the same time. And so now I just really want to encourage you and let you know that now, it's your turn. And so the next step is really take some action. Go ahead and go, if you haven't yet, to results513.com/special. And the bonuses of really getting on the phone with Justin and I, they are going to be going away. So if you're interested, person number one, you go through and you take, we've got the payment plans available for you. If you decide to do that right now, right after this webinar, and we'll know if you came from this webinar or not, then you get that 45-minute strategy session with both of us. We'll get on the phone with you. And the other thing is that, if you're listening to this and you want to get the PDFs from tonight's or today's presentation while you're watching it, whenever that is that you need to go ahead and if you purchase right now, you're absolutely going to get them no matter what. But if you haven't purchased or you're going to ask a question, you just fill out step 1 take that option number 2. And once you've filled out that form with your name and email, we'll go ahead and send you the PDF presentations. There's just a little comment in there that you can let us know. And so the other thing I just want to share with you right here, this is a picture of our next mastermind. This is where it's going to be held in Tampa, Florida in November, the end of November, coming up in the next month, and almost 2 months now, or a month and a half, depending on when you're listening to this. And we're encouraging you now to think about where you are right now and see if you would like to take action. Join us in the Ignition Mastermind and join us for the next 12 months where we can take your hand, help you, pull you up, show you exactly what's needed, have your back, have the community to just be able to relax and know that you're on a proven path and there's no second guessing. If you have any questions, the really cool part about this is that you can ask. And the even better part about that is you're going to get an answer that is strictly for you, not to sell you on anything else, not to make you jump through any hurdles. This is the quickest path to profit. That's what we're going to focus on. Let's get you moving forward. So with that, we're at the end of our presentation here. I'm very glad for you guys that have stuck around and really appreciate your time. And if you haven't yet, results513.com/special. So, Justin, do you have any last minute words? You want to see if we have any questions or anything?
Yeah, we can see if we had any questions. We're going to go ahead and end this recording. Again, thank you for hanging out for this time. Check out results513.com/special.